Kumite Radio, coming from Korea. Now we got Thailand, and now from Australia. 3 different time zones, 3 different countries, 3 different people, and we have a special guest today, Alex Volkanovski. What's going on, Alex?
Yeah, nothing much, mate. You said that right. Usually, George can't get my last name right, so you nailed
Volkanovski. Volkanovski.
Oh, mate, you nailed that time. Nice one.
Got it down. I got it down now after 3 years.
Yeah, oh, mate, you're not the early one. Don't worry about that.
Also joining us, of course, Gorge. He's in Thailand, living the tropical life for all of us, married folks. Right? Alex, the first thing is I want to get into, like people that know about you, that have been following you for a long time. They know that your nickname used to be the Hulk.
Yeah.
But then you changed it to the Great. So, of course, if someone that follows you, they know why you changed it. But did people close to you kind of give you some shit for changing your nickname? Because, when you change nicknames, like your friends kind of talk shit to you a lot about it, right? So did anything happen with that?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely had a few people like, what's going on there? What was if the name changed? But, I mean, I used to be a 97 kilograms. Yeah, what's that in pounds? I'm not sure, but it's a lot.
Shit.
It's like yes, like 210 pounds or something like that. And so that's where I know. When I started MMA, I was a big, solid sort of, reasonably chubby as well. But I mean, I was always like stocky built. So that's where the Hulk sort of come in. But now I'm fighting at featherweight. It had to change. I had to get rid of it, and just with my heritage too, me being Macedonian and Greek, some of my following are Macedonian as well. A big part of my following is Macedonian, and I knew that they could relate to that. And it's something that's sort of close to me anyway. I've always had my families arguing over if Alexander the Great was Greek or Macedonian. So now I can say to both of them, hey, he's both. Here you go.
All right. So now with, like Asian MMA, because that's what we kind of focus on. Also, we focus on Australia and New Zealand, of course. And you started out in Australia, but your next fight is in New Zealand. Have you fought in New Zealand before?
I've never fought in New Zealand. I've fought a couple of guys from New Zealand, but I've never been in New Zealand before. So I've always wanted to go there. So I'm looking forward to getting over there and putting on a show. But I've never been there. But I love the landscapes and the wildlife, everything over there. So hopefully, if I've got time, I'll get the win, get the 50 Gs, and have a little look around as well.
Do you do any like hunting or anything like that?
I do actually. Yeah. I'm a big hunter. I like to hunt some of the food I eat. But I've always been into hunting, and that's one thing that if I had time, I'll definitely do over there. But I just don't know if I'm gonna have the time.
All right.
I've got to finish the fight.
But like with this camp, leading up to this camp, you had a fight at UFC Fight Night. I think, 105, right? Back in let me see, back in February, right? And that was canceled in Canada.
Oh, yeah, I was meant to fight. In Canada, I was meant to fight, and I had like 3 opponent changes in like 1 week. And then, just didn't end up happening as well right at the end. Opponent got injured, and then we're having some like difficulties as well. So then they just sort of scrapped the fight. So,
what's the frustrations with that?
Weight cutting and all that. That was going to be a featherweight too. So, weight cutting, got the weight down, and that's always hard. And preparing, and obviously the money as well. This is what I do full time. So when these fights get taken away, it's hard, but it's understandable. I've had it happen before, so I sort of know. In Philippines before my Melbourne fight, that whole card got scrapped, and that was a big hit for me as well. But like I said, I'm used to it. I knew they were going to give me something close by, and I would have liked something even closer. That would have been good, fighting Canada, fighting New Zealand, and then hopefully Australia later this year if they have a card over there. But that would have been good, 3 fights in 1 year. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you've had some bad luck, right? Especially with your debut, supposed to be in the Philippines, and then they scrapped that whole thing, and then what is it? Then they shifted you to Australia. But actually, that worked out good for you, though.
That did work out. That was more of a blessing in disguise. That one was. Fight in front of my hometown, got on the main card. It was actually a good card. It was good. The fights are really done well. They paid off. It wasn't the biggest card, because a couple of the fights got pulled. But I mean, the performances was good. You know what I mean? I was a part of the main card, and that was good.
Before that fight, you were supposed to face John Tuck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you're preparing for John Tuck, and then that was canceled. And actually, you and John Tuck could have fought. They should have just. Don't you think they should have just shifted that fight to
Yeah.
Australia?
Well, that's what I didn't get wind of anything. That was just they're gonna say, well, and then they told me, yeah, you're gonna fight on Melbourne, and they told me Yusuke, and I was like, all right, sweet. And I had no idea that John was on that card, and then seeing that he was on that card, so I don't know maybe I don't know, maybe I don't know what happened there, but yeah, for some reason it changed. You'd think that they would have done that, but I don't know.
It's what it is, right? That's what the
What it
UFC
is.
is all about. It is what it
No,
is.
I'll fight whoever they put in front of me, really. So.
And yeah, making your debut in Australia, facing Yusuke, who is a pretty elite Japanese fighter, right? And you just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Let's just be real, right? You just beat the shit out of him, like really
Well,
bad.
Yes,
Yeah,
and apologize.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's something that's part of the game. You got to go out there and you got to beat up guys. As much as I don't like doing it, I wouldn't say I don't like it. As much as I sort of feel bad for the guy, but I need to win. So, as George was saying, I was apologising to the ref and everything mid-fight. But anyone that knows me knows that's how I am. So they would have been laughing. I'm sure George had a laugh when he heard that.
Yes, of course. I mean, who looks up in the middle of a fight and says, "Oh, sorry," and then the guy gets some move that he's trying to do, gets out or takes you down?
Yeah, I got taken down too. Yeah,
Only you.
Crazy, but only would happen to me. But I mean, I guess that's a part of my thing.
Is it?
Always apologizing.
Do you think it was kind of the UFC jitters a little bit? Kind of like apologizing to the ref and those types of things happen?
No, not really. Like, I'm actually when I'm fighting, I'm pretty composed. I'm pretty clear-headed. I wasn't even thinking about the UFC, to be honest with you. Like I said, I heard him say, oh, because I put my hand on the fence, he must have thought I grabbed it. He goes, oh, watch the fence. I was like, oh, sorry, mate. I just letting him know. So realistically, it was just me being in a comfortable environment, almost. You could almost say, couldn't you? Like, who really would hear something like that while you're trying to punch someone's head in? But I managed to hear that and apologize to him.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen that during a fight, especially in the UFC. So it's very comical in a way, right?
Yeah, well, you'll probably see me apologizing to a few more people in a. Hopefully, some of them go viral anyway. Maybe I'll get a big knockout, and you'll hear as he's falling, hear me going, "Oh, sorry, mate," slow motion. That'd be good.
With your next fight, you're fighting another Japanese guy. What's up with that? Like,
I don't know.
What's going on with that? What's up with the Japanese guys, man?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. I've got a Japanese mate, and he's like, "Oh, why are you fighting?" Like, I'm really close with him, so he's always saying he has to go against his countrymen. Like, why am I always going against my countrymen for you? I really don't know. I don't know whether I know we're in the same sort of region as you were saying before, like Asia Pacific sort of region. So maybe they're always going to be in the mix of our sort of fights. And I don't know, maybe they're the ones that want to take on the fights. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's hard to get matched up and they're the ones that put their hands up. I don't know.
Yeah, you started off in Australia and you have titles all over the place, like Australian FC, Rochambeau, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Rochambeau.
Rochambeau?
Yeah, Rochambeau, yeah.
Yeah, where else do you have titles at? You know?
I've got a few titles in Australia. I've got a lot of the Australian titles. I've got obviously the PXC title as well against a Japanese guy. But I mean, before PXC, I was mainly just fighting in Australia, and I was taking out all the top guys. I was in multiple divisions too. I got a lot of them titles, welterweight, and then lightweight and featherweight. I think I've only got 2 featherweights, so the rest of them are all. I've got like 7 or 8 of them, and the rest of them are, lightweight or up.
Let's talk PXC, because I think PXC is the place where kind of like it puts you on the map for like the UFC to kind of notice you a little bit more. And
your coming out party.
Yeah, your coming out party, right? You came out the, I don't know if you say the closet, but you came out, right? And everybody started to notice, especially in your title fight, where you faced a very dangerous guy in Yachi, right? If you've seen what Yachi he's been doing right now for Ryzen, people should know that how dangerous he is now and in the past. And you fought him for 4 hard rounds and finished him. I think triangle choke, right?
Pardon? Yeah, 4 rounds. I got him in the 4th.
And triangle choke, right?
Triangle choke. Yeah, these little legs somehow wrapped him up. So.
Yeah, and he's a strong guy. Like, can you kind of break down him?
Yeah. He's a big featherweight. I couldn't believe how big he was. Really big, ripped, tall, all pretty much my build, but just absolutely muscly everywhere. And he was fit, known for his fitness, and he's so technical as well. So it was always going to be a tough fight. I thought I was going to be so much stronger than him. I think I was stronger than him, but he was a lot stronger than I expected. And I eventually wore him out and ended up getting the finish in the 4th round. It was back and forth as well, but I heard him a few times, and it eventually got to him. And that's definitely where I think people started realizing me. It's definitely in the Asia sort of region.
Do you think that was probably your toughest fight?
Yeah, I would say so. I've had when I fought at welterweight, I had a couple of fights. Obviously, my only loss was at welterweight, but I just wasn't ready for that fight. That was really early against the best in Australia at the time, pound for pound. So I just shouldn't have took that fight. So I wouldn't say that was the hardest, but I've had another really hard fight, back and forth one. But again, that was in welterweight. But for someone my size and, the level playing field and everything like that, definitely the hardest. But I mean, I'm usually always fit and prepared to go the rounds, and that's exactly what happened. I end up finishing, and he's known for his fitness, and I end up really wearing him down.
Yeah, going back from, like, you said you were 97 kilos, and now you are at how many kilos? I don't know because it's pounds. I'm mostly pounds, but how many kilos are you right now?
Well, right now I'm about 72.
Okay,
but
so
I'm fighting at 6. So there's 30 kilograms difference. So that's about 70 pounds or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, what do you reckon, 70 pounds, George?
Yeah,
something like that. What is the lifestyle difference between like being somebody that's 97 kilos and then living your life at, let's say, around 70 kilos, right? What's the lifestyle difference for you?
Well, that's another big thing. Obviously, the appearance is much better for me. I'm much happier with how I look, but the lifestyle change. I feel so much better. Just everything about it, and obviously fighting at a real weight, and everything was for the better. And I used to eat, like, being with a European background. My dad's Macedonian, mum's Greek. Europeans love their food, and I still love my food. Again, George could
it's disgusting. It's literally, it's disgusting to watch him eat. Like, how he's like a surgeon with a knife and a fork, how he slides everything around on the plate. And if you
like Salt Bay, is he Salt Bay?
Yes. Oh, mate, man, that's a good way of putting it. I put everything perfect. If I got my meal there, I need like, say if I got a piece of bread, I need everything on that plate on that piece of bread, and I want it perfectly. Each bite has to have everything. That's how I am.
No.
And John loves it.
It's annoying. It's very annoying.
So, like you said, you know, like going back to like the lifestyle change. Of course, you said you feel a lot healthier and stuff like that. But you know, before you started working out at 97 kilos, right?
Yep.
Like, were there like any reason why you lost all that weight? Of course, you know, for the health reasons, but I'm saying, was there other reasons?
Oh, well, I used to play rugby league. I was a rugby league front rower, so that's a prop. So I don't know if you know much about the rugby league, but that's the big guys. The big guys are the ones at the front. Pretty much, I don't know if you watch NFL, the guys, the blockers, like the big boppers. That's
The
what I used
lineman,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to just run straight, like literally just. That's all. Yeah, that was my job, run straight. So I was one of the big boys, the shortest front rower in the game, but. That was so I was always fit, even at that weight. I was reasonably fit, but for MMA is a total different fitness. So yeah, to get down, and then obviously I can't be fighting light heavyweights. Like I'm small for the featherweight division, like height wise. But yeah, it's definitely performance wise and technique and everything's just unbelievable. Even when I went to Tiger Muay Thai, I was reasonably heavy there. I think the first time I went to featherweight was a few weeks after the tryouts.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So,
what did you think, George, when you first saw him?
I thought that he was very, because we did the tryouts together, and I thought he was probably the nicest guy I'd ever met, and I used to like giving him shit. But I knew right away, like training with him, that he was very good, and obviously his record had already spoke for itself. And you know, when he informed everyone that he was fighting at welterweight and stuff like that, I was like, man, for a guy to you know be winning at that weight class, because it definitely was not his weight class. It's kind of a testament to the fighter that he is. So and Alex, I think more than anyone has improved from that group of people that came to the tryouts that year in 2014. He's I think improved more than anyone. He's, you know, because he comes from a gym that, you know, he has a good coach, and obviously Alex has a great work ethic, but the training partners and the people that he has been around is not the same as like myself. Like when I lived in Atlanta, I had very high level coaches, very high level training partners, you know, that were already competing in the UFC and Bellator and stuff. And Alex didn't have that. So when he came to Tiger, not only did he have that, but he had all kinds of other people from around the world to train with, and, you know, the Muay Thai trainers and the coaches. So I think he really, he jumped levels very quickly. You know, you put someone in an environment like that that's already kind of good, then you pretty much have no choice but to go up. So, yeah.
So you guys have been, you know, kind of going to Thailand. You guys actually got there at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's kind of interesting that you guys have kind of like a parallel, you know, journey of Thailand. Like you guys went there. So how often do you go to Thailand, Alex?
I'm there every camp. I'll definitely go there either early or just before. Like, just depends. Financially is hard, even though I get looked after really well. But I mean, just the flights, and because I got a family, you know, if I was there and I could stay there, it'd be easier. But because I can only go for like 3 weeks at a time or 2 weeks at a time now with the family, I just can't be there as regularly. Like the flights are just too much for me. But I try and go there at every camp. I'll make sure I'm there, whether it's early in the camp or getting close. I'll make sure I go there, and you know, I always level up every time I go there. I come back at another level. I'm still new to the sport. People don't realize that I only started like 5-6 years ago. And as George was saying, when I went there, I was heavier. I wasn't doing it full time, and then that was when I made the decision to do it full time. And then training with such high level training partners and coaches, and you know, from all the way around the world. Not only you got the coaches, you got training partners. You learn things off training partners too. So, like, you know, they'll show you something. I'll train with someone, and then I'll like something. I'll be like, oh man, that was good. What was that? You know, and they tell me something that, you know, people won't know because someone showed them that, and it's really effective. Say he's got the same build as me, and I know it works, and all of a sudden, I'm finishing fights with that exact move. You know, so I've been showed like a couple of moves even from George, and starting to really put them in my performances now. So you can imagine exactly what I still can do in the sport. So I'm looking to really set statements in there. So coming this next weekend, it's exactly what's going to happen.
When you go to the UFC, right? You've been fighting all over the place, you know, in Asia. Well, in Asia, you fought in Australia, many different promotions. Now you're in the UFC, and they actually have like a fight week. What's the difference?
I love it. Like, I love it everything about that because especially while you're cutting weight, and it gives you something to do. I'm pretty, casual with how I roll, and as long as I'm getting trained, I don't want to just sit there. A lot of people just really rest and just really try and zone in on the fight. I just try and do my thing. Whatever's in front of me, I worry about at the time. So I love fight week. I love doing all that sort of stuff. And so it's a big part of the weight cut for me, to be honest with you. While I'm carrying my big distilled water 5-litre bottles around, doing media days and all that sort of stuff, it's unreal. It is different. I've only done it. Maybe PXC were the same. They've done a bit of that, but I mean, obviously in Australia it wasn't really like that. But I love it, and I'm doing well with it as well. So I'm very comfortable in that environment anyway.
Is there a lot more media that you have to do since you're fighting in your own country, or you're fighting when you fought in Australia? Was there a lot more media, or was it kind of similar?
No, definitely not the media. You always had local sort of media, but I mean, going there and having actual media days of sites that I've been following for a long time and all that, and just seeing they got their signs on their and their camera in your face. You're like, oh yeah, cool. It makes you feel special, but it's like I said, each interview I'm just gonna talk a bit of shit and blabber on anyway. So no matter who's really doing it, but it is definitely cool. I love it.
All right. What I want to talk about is you just came back from the UFC Athlete Retreat, right? You kind of took some time from your camp and went over there. Did you do any training over there while you were in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I definitely done some training. I had Jake Matthews, he's Australian, for the Celtic kid. He was there as well, so I done some training with him. Sheldon Westcott from Canada, a few of the bigger boys, but I mean, that's always good. And I went to Syndicate. I went there and done a couple of sessions there as well, and done my own sort of thing in the gym. But the traveling was pretty crazy. I went from Thailand straight to Vegas, which is a huge flight. That's a huge flight. And then I was only there for 4 days and then flew all the way to Australia, which is another big flight. It sort of rattled me a bit, but I'm all right now. And come fight time, they won't make any difference. But I mean, it was a great experience for me. I absolutely loved it there. Seeing all the celebrity, the big name fighters, and just everything. It was unreal, and the knowledge as well. Like some of the seminars and that they gave to us was incredible. And I know you've probably seen some of the drama that happened, and it was good to be see the headlines and then knowing that I was there and was a part of it. So it was pretty cool.
There's a lot of crazy shit that happened over there, right? During the UFC retreat. First one was the Cyborg thing. Were you there?
I wasn't there. I've met Angelina before. Is it Angela? Angela or Angelina? Angela. Angela, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it doesn't surprise me that someone wanted to hit her, to be honest. But I don't know. Yeah, well, Cyborg. Yeah, I missed it, but I mean, yeah, I obviously knew what happened pretty much straight away. But I mean, all the other stuff, I'm pretty sure I've seen. But yeah, I missed that one. I got to see the footage.
Yeah, I've met Cyborg once, and she's very polite.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's different around other people, but George, you met her too.
Yeah, in Korea when we were there. She was, like I said, all the experiences I had with her there, like, which I didn't speak to her too much, but she was very down to earth and humble, and she she was very respectful to everybody, and like, she was like talking with the fighters that were fighting, and she's at a much higher level than everyone, where we were at for Battleground. And I thought I got the same feeling as you did. I thought she was very polite. I've even seen her in Thailand, and have mutual friends that were hanging out with her when she was training in Thailand, and everyone spoke very highly of her and thought that she was a very nice person.
Yeah, I think there's something to that, you know.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's something to that. Like we don't, you know, we might not know, but our mine and George's experience, and maybe your experience too, of Cyborg is not like what people make her out to be, like a monster or some crazy shit like that. So who knows, you know? But
Yeah, well, while I was
I'm
there,
pretty,
seeing her,
yeah.
she seemed pretty reasonable. Like I didn't really have a chat to her, but she seemed nice. I got told straight after it happened, like people told me about what happened, and then they told me obviously she was Angela was ripping into her for a while before that, and supposedly said anytime, anywhere. Whether that was at the retreat or on social media, I don't know, but supposedly she said that, and yeah, Cyborgs anytime, anywhere, right? And then supposedly popped the one, but yeah, that's what I was told anyway.
All right. Also, during the Reebok meeting, right? The guy stood up from Canada, Cajon. I think Cajon Johnson is his name.
That's
And
his
he's
name,
saying
yeah.
like, you know, he'll say some crazy shit to them, you know, like some real deal shit. Like, what was your
Oh,
thoughts on that?
oh mate, it was that like what was it, about half an hour? That 30 minutes was a crazy 30 minutes, especially being I don't know, you know, I was in the UFC and like you know everything's real professional. You've probably heard about a drunk guy being there. I don't know if you've heard about that, but
No,
oh
no.
my, all right, well there was someone that on stage that was drunk. Well, it's already out there, so you know I'm not going to get in trouble saying it. But the Budweiser guy or something come out, like the guy that was representing, come out and he had a beer in his hand and seemed pretty reasonably drunk, and you know it was crazy. But I don't know whether that set everyone off. I'm not sure. But then Cajun just went. I had the camera rolling already, and then all of a sudden Cajun just started going. I was like, oh what? You know what I mean? It was crazy, but yeah, man, it was a full on. I was just like, what just happened? You know what I mean? I was blown out.
Was there any like other fighters beefing? Because I heard that like, you know, Mike Perry, you know, Mike Perry's out there talking shit
Alex
about
Quinn.
people.
Yeah, yeah. What happened? I seen him say supposedly him and Jeremy Stevens, was it?
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah. But I don't know. I missed that, but I mean that would have been that Snoop Dogg. That would have been after I ended up leaving. But yeah, probably everyone, you know, everyone had a few drinks. So it was
What
bound to happen.
about
It was
what,
bound to
ab-
happen, definitely.
what about Ally Quinn?
Oh, he was sweet. I don't know. Like he was. I didn't see him carry on at all. He was there the first couple of days, and then what? Did something happen? I know. I didn't see him the last few days.
I followed him on Twitter because I really like him. But man,
Yeah.
he's funny as shit. Like just calling people out left and right now, just talking shit. It's so
Oh,
funny.
really? Yeah. It was. Yeah, he was all right actually. The first night we got there, well, the first thing we went to the Performance Center, the UFC Performance place, and it was, yeah, everyone started drinking, and that was a good time. And then he was already, mate, wasn't even night time yet, and he was already pretty drunk. And
Did you have a couple
on
drinks?
the rings. Nah, I mean, I was too close to the fight, so I was never going there to drink. But
Yeah. Next time.
next time.
Hey, did you go check out the new facility?
Yeah, that was it. That was a UFC Performance. Can't remember the exact name of it. Institute. That's the one. UFC Performance Institute, mate. That was unreal. It was crazy. It's just for UFC fighters. And like, you know, say if I wanted to take a camp there, if I was fighting in Vegas, I wanted to take a camp there, we can just use the facilities. And it has everything there. Everything. Even like, you know, your physiotherapists, the cryo machines, just everything. Like the recovery machines and massages and places to rest in between training. And, you know, it was crazy. They took us through, and yeah, the training facility was pretty crazy, but we'll see how that goes. See if it gets put to use.
Did you, Alex, did you see Vitor Belfort this week in Brazil with his dog?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
He has some kind of like comfort dog or some shit. Like, I don't, yeah, it's
What,
like some
his
safety dog.
fight?
I don't, you know, those people that carry around dogs and like cats
Yeah,
and shit, and they could carry it on the plane with them. And what do you think about
really.
that?
That's crazy, man. What's with the dog? I actually seen another. There was at the retreat. I seen a girl carrying a dog the whole time. She had a dog with her the whole time. One of the UFC fighters. I don't know. Or is that the new thing? Maybe I need to go get myself a Rottweiler or something.
Maybe you can get a sponsorship. Maybe you can get a sponsorship from the dog company
Yeah,
or something.
might rock up a UFC Melbourne with a Rottweiler and just what's up?
Two of them. Two of them.
That's it. One each side.
Exactly.
They'll stand taller than you though, so I don't know if that's a good idea. I might get chihuahuas, and I can stand over them. Stand over them. You know what I mean?
Get
Be
some
taller than the
demons.
dog.
Yeah, I
not
guess
taller.
what those dogs are is like they're like I think they're called comfort dogs. You got to get a license for them and shit, and then you can
Oh,
carry them on the plane with you. Like they could sit with you on the plane. They could go with you into restaurants. I think that that's kind of crazy because I don't want to be eating in a restaurant where there's a dog
Yeah.
walking
Well, I
around with
mean,
his asshole sticking out. You know what I mean? Like around my food. You know that's not. I like
yeah, man.
dogs, but come on.
Well, I wouldn't mind it. Look, if he rocked up at UFC Melbourne with it, I wouldn't care. But I mean, you're right. If I was eating dinner or something like, but I mean, isn't that sort of like, me coming with a comfort dog? I don't know the way you sort of. I've never really heard of it, but the way you explain it, does that mean he's needed like a doctor to say, oh, you need like he's having problems with something, so he needs a comfort dog? Like,
Yeah, like some kind of like emotional
yeah,
assistance
like is that
dog or
mental
something like
problems
that.
there? I don't know.
Strange.
Hopefully, I'm not offending anyone when I say that. I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean, does that mean that's just see? I'm apologising again. I'm always apologising, but yeah, something like that. It seems a bit I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like going to Korea, there shouldn't be comfort dogs in. Because don't you guys eat dogs, John?
Yeah, they got some dog eaters over here. They got some dog
Oh, wow.
eaters. They're
I'm
chasing
gonna
dogs
apologize.
out here.
I'm gonna apologise for George for saying that, mate. All right, sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
asking
the truth.
questions.
It's the
It's
truth.
Hey, it's a good opportunity for me to apologise. It's all right.
Get some Korea fans, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Let's get into your fight. At UFC Auckland, because that's you're getting ready. How long has your camp been?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't stop training. I could fight any day of the year, really. Like ever since a few years ago, or I was pushing for UFC. I always stayed ready just in case there was an injury, and that's how I eventually got in. And now it's the same because I want to fight as much as I can. I want that money. I want to climb these ranks. I started MMA later than I'd like, so I need to climb these ranks. And for me to do that, I need to fight, and I need to put on the performances. So I stay ready. So if they call me up, I go, all right, let's do it, done. And that's exactly what's happening. So I went there. Like I said, I was meant to fight in Canada, and then so I pretty much done 2 camps for this fight. So I'm definitely ready. After the traveling, as I was saying before, it was a bit of traveling, and my body probably got a little bit run down and that. But I mean, I got to train back into it, and come fight time, it don't make no difference.
Well, yeah, I guess since you said you're always ready, so having back-to-back camps, because most guys they have camps for only a few weeks up to the fight, right? And then after that, they're kind of like they're just relaxing. They might train, but they're not ready to fight anytime soon. So, I guess it's very helpful for you since even though they canceled it, that you're just continuing your regular routine and
Yeah.
getting ready.
Well, to be honest, don't stay at my peak. I'll train hard, and like I said, like my reasonably fitness is like really fit for most people. Like I'll be training when I'm not even training for a fight, and people are like, man, whoa, like, man, you're fit, and I'm like, oh no, man, you know what I mean? Like I'm nowhere near my peak. So then I always make it probably takes me a week in Thailand training with them guys, getting put through shark tanks and stuff like that, and I feel like I'm ready to take on a 5-round fight, no worries.
When you were in Thailand a few weeks ago, did George let himself go, or is he ready to fight? What's going on with that? Is he in shape?
Yeah, he's in good enough shape. He never blows out. Actually, his weights are never that bad. He'll sort of make jokes about him putting weight, but I mean, compared to what I used to put on, yeah, he definitely doesn't put much on.
I got good
George
genes.
What?
I said I got good genes. That's why my weight's always like good. But I haven't done anything since I last fought in December. I've just been coaching and traveling and staying busy. So maybe before the end of the year I'll fight again. But right now, just focusing on these guys.
Yeah,
All I
exactly.
know is that George, he has the best haircut in MMA, because that's all I see. I just see his head all the time. So all I know is he got the best haircut.
I gotta go tomorrow.
Let's go side on that.
It's not good right now. I'm going tomorrow though. I assure you, I'll be in Phuket town, seeing my man Nong Boom getting cut up.
All right, nice. Yeah, I actually, before my fights, my ritual, I always go get a shave. So yeah, this ain't what, I'm not going to walk out fight night with this beard. But yeah, usually the week of my fight, I go out and I get my face done, I get beard and haircut and try and look good.
Are you going to dye it black?
No, I definitely won't be doing that. That's a funny story, mate. We should actually probably get into that.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find a photo of it, actually.
Well, you can put that up, or you're on your phone.
Yeah, I'm just going to find a photo of it if I can.
As he's doing that, I'll sort of explain what happened. I went in there and my beard, I don't know if you probably can't see it. In the sunlight, it gets a red tinge to it, which I don't mind. But I was growing my beard. Like for the PXC fights, that was my thing, growing a beard. Like, I know. I was like the only one over there with a beard. So I thought, even for my second fight, I decided I'm going to do that again. So I grew the beard, and yeah, I thought, I want, it's a bit red. I wonder what it'd be like to dye it. So I went and I was talking to him, like, can you dye it like sort of a color? And then have you found the photo yet?
No, not yet. Well, listen, we've got over 3,000 in our group chat, so
I could probably find it.
We could, yeah. You find it then, because we could go to jail for some of these photos we have in here.
All right, yeah, I can find it pretty quick. But yeah, that's what. So I ended up telling him.
Send me the photo so I could use it for the poster for the podcast.
Here's here's funny stuff. Like we just made a meme of him right there, black beard, and stuck his head in there.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I've got another. I'll send this one to you.
All right, let me use that for the podcast. That's beautiful.
Look at the guys in the background. See, I go to the same hairdresser in Thailand, in Phuket there, and he's always laughing. Every time I go there, you can hear them speaking Thai and mumbling and cracking up, and they're always bagging me out about it. But yeah, that's what I decided to do it. So not only the color was just too dark, naturally hair has multiple colors. You don't really realize, but when you do one complete color, it's ridiculous, mate. It was bad.
Fake.
I couldn't believe it. It stained the skin too. That was a dilemma. All right, I'll shave it off. I'm looking at my skin. I could see that I had this stained black tint on my face. So I was sitting there going, mate, this is a nightmare. It turned into a nightmare. And I actually went out that night. Everyone's stealing my hat. And I was trying to wear the hat because my hair was different color. And oh mate, people had a laugh. That's for sure.
So it seems like you get some hard training done, but when you're down there, you have some fun at the same time with the guys like, coach over here.
Well, yeah, that time that was I was there with the wife and that as well. I was with the family, and I just a wife at the time. I didn't have the baby then. And one of my good mates, Shane, his missus were there. So we went there more for a holiday while they were there. And obviously every time I have a holiday, I train. I never stop training, so I'm always training. But that was more of a holiday. When I'm there for fight camps and that, I'm pretty boring, to be honest with you. But I mean, in the week, I'm still going to do stuff.
But we still have, we still get together and we have good banter. And on our group chat, we just smash each other all the time. In fact, you should maybe make it out next time that Volkanovski comes for Songkran Festival, John. You should make it out for them because he's probably getting nervous right now. I'm even mentioning this, but
mate, it's all right.
He becomes, as we like to call him, Footy Volko from his rugby days, and he is an animal when he starts drinking.
Yeah, so it's I don't even really know this guy. I don't really, but I mean, supposedly once I have a few drinks and I get going, the old Footy Volko comes out and it gets a bit wild.
Well, everybody has their little dark side, right? So
yeah. It wasn't too dark, was it?
It's pretty dark side. It's his alternate personality. Like he becomes another person.
Is it like the Oscar De La Hoya dark side?
It's everything. He becomes a lunatic. Nothing bad, but he's just hilarious. The things he does.
Full on. Well, put it this way: if you're there next Songkran, don't have a water pistol in front of me, because I'll be putting an elbow straight through it.
All right. Getting back to your fight, right? It's against Mizuto Hirota, right? Now, with this guy, he actually, in his last fight, surprised a lot of people because he beat Cole Miller, which I think most people didn't think that he was going to be able to beat Cole Miller, but he did. So with preparations for him, like what did you kind of like focus on with this guy?
Well, just look, I always like to focus on what I'm going to do, but knowing that he's got a sort of similar sort of style to me when it comes to putting pressure on. He likes to come forward. He's a little bit static, I believe. He stays pretty still, and he gets hit a fair bit as well. So I'm definitely going to be capitalizing on that. But it was a bit of changes, just knowing that usually I'm coming forward and I get other people on the back foot. So just I'm going to see whether he will take the back foot, because if he doesn't, I'm getting that knockout, because no one's going to let me just throw bombs on him, that's for sure. So I guarantee you I'll be pushing him back, so we'll see what he's like on his back foot. But that was a good performance. It was a good game plan. I think his style worked well for Cole Miller, just being strong. Did not get tangled up in the jiu-jitsu, more MMA, just kept a high posture, strictly stuck to punches and staying on top, never worried about really getting tangled up. And that, like my last fight with Yusuke, pretty much. That's what I mean with my same sort of style. He likes the MMA side of things. Combos into clinches and stuff like that. But I noticed that's something that it's just instinct for him. Combo straight into a clinch. It's just a reaction that he does instinctively. And I think that's going to work well for me. But I mean, I always train for anything can happen any given day. So I spar with whoever I can, because who knows who's going to come out come June 11th. So I'm going to be ready for everyone.
Do you have a plan for your career? Since you of course accomplished one of your goals is to be in the UFC. Now, a lot of guys, their goal is basically just be in the UFC. So what is your plan?
I've said it a few times that even before I was in the UFC, I said I'm not only going to make the UFC, I'm going to make it to the top. I want to hit these top ranks as soon as possible. Obviously aiming for that title, but I mean, I want to be a great fighter, and then I want to be successful as well. So I want to really not only be a good fighter, I'm going to really be smart, like business-wise, and really capitalize on each moment. Like I said, when I finish this fight, June 11th, while the eyes are on me, I'm going to really capitalize on that. So, just things like that. So, I'm not, everyone always, Conor McGregor gets mentioned in almost every bloody conversation. But I mean, that's one thing he's really good at, capitalizing on every moment possible. And, I'm a big fan of that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I might look like an idiot, but I mean, if the eyes are on me, the eyes are on me.
Well, Conor McGregor is not even a featherweight anymore. So I don't even think he even matters to the division, right?
No, he's not.
He's the past, right? It's just the past. The guy is gone. If he does even fight again, it's going to be a lightweight, in the lightweight division. So I don't think people should even be talking about him, right? At all.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Do you have anybody in mind, like when you think about, guys that are in the division, do you have anybody in mind that you would like to fight to push you to, into the top 15 or the top 20 or the top 10 or whatever?
There's a few, obviously the top guys, any big names, but I mean, one that, definitely not, I mean, I'm a realist as well. I'm not expecting them to just throw me Jeremy Stevens or something like that. I mean, you got to earn them shots. But I mean, someone like Diego Sanchez or something like that, big name, everyone likes him. And, I'd love that fight. That'd be fun, really fun. He's tough, and that'd be fun. That'll be a fun fight. And just the whole, experience of fighting him and would be unreal. And I really think that'll have a lot of eyes on me as well. So that's something that, credit to him. He's got a lot of eyes on him, and people love him. So I'd love to fight him for that matter.
I think even Jeremy Stevens is a possibility, to be honest with you.
Yeah. After this fight, definitely could be coming off a loss. Again, I think that's a good matchup for me too. But he's a powerhouse. But But I mean, that's another thing. That's why I sort of mentioned him, because that'd be good. But I mean, I'll throw it out there. I don't mind throwing it out there. But I mean, obviously, someone like Diego Sanchez would be perfect for my next fight. And then maybe someone like Jeremy Stevens, top 5 or something. I think he's ranked 5th. He was 3rd. Now he's probably 5th or something.
So, you know, like, of course you're focusing on your next fight because that's the most important fight of your life.
Yeah.
But do you sit down and visualize and think like, okay, this is my next fight. I visualize the win because, of course, you're visualizing all of that, right? Now,
Yeah.
what's the next step? What's the next step? Do you sit down and kind of like have that drawn out in your mind? Do you think about those things often, or is it just you're just focusing on the next fight?
No, I think, look, like I said, I'm a pretty casual and composed type of guy. While I'm training for a fight, I'm going to focus, on that specifically. But I mean, if someone asks me a question like you are now, what about you? I'm more than happy to dive into that. And by tomorrow, me training or something, I'll forget about that. You know, I mean, that's not, people are like, oh, you shouldn't be worried about that. Like, you hear people talk like that, but I mean, that really does not make a difference to me. I can talk about whatever I want. Come train time, I'm going to focus on that fight. Come fight time, I'm going to focus on who's in front of me. That's just how it is.
You said you just recently mentioned that you have a daughter. Now,
Yes.
life before a daughter, life after a daughter. What's the difference, man? Because I have a daughter too. So
It's a big difference. Before, I always wanted to be successful in MMA, and I took it full time. And by having a kid, it made you really be like, well, I need something to happen. I need something to happen quick. You know what I mean? Like, I got to, I'm doing it full time now, struggling, even now, still struggling. I need the fights. So it really makes you zone in. I remember that was when I fought Yusuke Yachi. That camp, I had the baby deep in that camp. I had Ariana, and that was crazy. I was in my zone completely with everything. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think I could be like that, to be honest with you. Working and training and being a dad, like, getting up at night, here and there, and somehow making time for the family, working and doing full-time training as well. It was crazy, but for some reason, just having the baby was just kept me motivated, and I just got through it. No worries, you know what I mean? And I did it, and I won.
So it was just that extra. It just gave you the extra push.
Drive.
You already
Yeah,
had the drive, but you just gave you the extra push to
Definitely.
kind of build something more than
Well,
yourself.
definitely. I'm a father. I've got to look after the kid and my family. So that's how I look at it as well. It's not just going out there and just winning. It's going out there and winning to make some money, sort of thing as well. You know what I mean? So being successful, and that's why I've always looked at it as fighting, not only as, I'm always going to want to fight and, bring a big fight, but I'm going to obviously think of the business side of it as well, and be smart about it. But again, I'd fight anyone on any given day, really, still. So, so that hasn't properly sinked in yet. So, but I mean, yeah.
What do you think of Robert Whittaker? He's a guy from that region, built himself up. He was actually a welterweight and wasn't very successful, and then he went up to middleweight, and now he's fighting for the interim title, right? Against probably, to me, the most dangerous guy in the middleweight division.
Crazy.
What's the hype in Australia for this guy?
It definitely even after Brunson, a few people really, but I mean after Jacare, boom, all of a sudden, he's every time UFC's mentioned in Australia, Robert Whittaker comes with it, and which is good. I'm happy for him. I've trained with him a few times, and nice guy, and man, he's going crazy, and he's got a good tank on him. And this fight, I don't know whether people have probably done not really taking him on fights. A lot of people sort of counting him out, but I'm sure people are starting to really pick up on him and realize that he's a real deal. But I think he's still a good matchup for Romero. Romero, I don't believe, has a massive gas tank. He just needs to survive. Obviously, he's done that in a few of his last fights anyway. And I think he can really take it out. And then all of a sudden, Bisping, I think even Bisping's another really good fight for him.
What do you think, George?
Course. I think that, I'm going to have to go with Romero, but I do like Robert Whittaker. I think any of those guys at that division in the top 6, 7 beat Bisping, in my opinion, or have the tools to beat him.
Yeah.
I think that he keeps trying to get away from Romero and stuff, because I think that he beats him, man. All those guys at that weight class, I think, can beat Bisping.
Yeah.
He's very Bisping's very good. He's technical. But he's like a point fighter. You know, he's good at jabbing people. Like I remember, and Alex is going to give me shit for this because he always says that name drop. But like I was in like Brian Stan's camp like when he fought Bisping, and my friend who's a really high level wrestler like Stan brought him in for that to help against his takedowns and stuff. But like we knew what Bisping was going to do, and he did a good job and he won. But he's man, he's like, you got to give the guy props because how long has he been in the UFC and how many fights has he won in the UFC?
And he was at the top for a long time, man.
Right, and he's still going. But
every time he got right close, you'd get a loss or something.
So more power to him and props to him for winning the title. But I think that those guys, like, I think Luke Rockhold was a fluke. I think Luke Rockhold fights him again. He beats him 10 times out of 10. Romero, Weidman, I think all those guys would beat him. Brunson's one of my boys. I think he would beat him.
It's like, don't forget Jesus. You know, you can't forget that guy. Don't forget Jesus, right? I liked it when he won, and then who did he beat? Romero. He beat was it Machida? And then Bisping was commentating, and he stood up and he's like, I love you, Michael Bisping. That shit was funny to me, man. Like his English is so awesome.
Yeah, he's quite a funny guy.
Yeah,
I saw a video circulating last week where it was like they were in like some little gym in Miami. I think it was like a bunch of Cuban guys that he trains with, because he trains like with a lot of like Cuban like former wrestlers and like Cuban boxing and stuff. And he was like talking shit on the camera, and he was like, "I'm coming," but it was hilarious.
I love him, man. What about another Australian guy, Daniel Kelly? He's like, it's hard to explain him, you know?
Yes. You get that phone call, everyone's like, oh, shit, I got to fight this guy. Like, that's the one guy that's like the old guy that like can just take what's given to him, and then somehow he's like, he just doesn't die or go away. And props to that guy.
Is he a legend in Australia?
He's starting to be. A lot of people are starting to grow on him. Where, you know, I mean, and now the UFC have sort of taken him on board and like really putting it out there as, you know, the Dad's Army, and you know that's his thing, hashtag Dad's Army. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. You know what I mean? Like he's old, man. I train him a fair bit. Sorry if you'll get offended by that, Dan, but yeah, man. Like you'll see him like wrapped up and even for training and stuff like that, and he just comes out and he brings it, man. Like, it's crazy. Just that pressure. A lot of people he's just that real unorthodox pressure. Just will come forward, be in like this awkward range where you think, I'm going to hit him, but I mean, all of a sudden he's just tagging with these punches. Like, go away from me, and then before they know it, they're losing on points, and then he gets a win.
What's up with Australia with the guys like Anthony Perosh? Him too. Before Daniel Kelly, it was Anthony Perosh. You know, he came out, he looked like a math teacher from high school. And came out and beat dudes, right? Knocked dudes out, submitted guys. You know, it was shocking. And then Daniel Kelly comes along, and he's just doing the same exact thing, but better.
Yeah, man. Look, the win. What is it? 5-1 or 6-1 now?
Yeah,
6 wins and 1 loss or something. That's crazy.
It is.
I can't believe it. You know what I mean? And then a couple of decent names in there as well. The last couple.
Rashad Evans. He beat him. That was
insane.
Yeah.
That was insane.
At middleweight too, you know what I mean? That was Rashad coming down to middleweight. But you know what I mean? It's just that pressure. Like I said, it's just that awkward pressure. I've seen that happen with Rashad before. That's why I was giving Dan a chance in that fight, because just purely on knowing that he's going to come forward. And I remember Nogueira and Rashad, and just Rashad would not pull the trigger. He just kept getting tagged. You know what I mean? And I thought that could happen, and that's exactly what happened. He just wouldn't really pull the trigger, and Dan just kept coming forward and took him out. It was incredible. Very, very big day for Australia. That day was unreal.
He's a guy that you cannot hate him. You cannot. If you hate him, you're a dick.
Yeah,
if you hate him, you're a dick.
And he's
just a good dude.
He's fit. You know, he's fit too. He works. He will do the rounds, man. He does the rounds. You wouldn't think at that age, like, you know, could he be so fit? But he's fit, and he'll you know. He might not peak like some people, but he'll go like this and he'll stay like that. You know what I mean?
Also, another guy from Australia that's debuting on this card is Ashkan Mokhtarian. He actually was at Tiger recently, right, George? And do you know about him, Alex?
Yeah. Actually, just trained there last weekend. He's just from Sydney. He's a couple of hours away. I've known him for a while. Obviously, being in Australian MMA and all that, like we've seen each other around. I've seen him in Phuket a few times, but got to train with him a few times over there in Thailand. So that was the first time I've ever been to their gym. From Tiger, you know what I mean? So we sort of got, like, I guess, a little affiliation, or what you could say, a little bond, where that's where that come from at Tiger. So yeah, it was good.
What do you think, George, of this guy?
Ashkan, well, I think he's skilled, man. I knew of him. His brother, when I fought Kleber in China, his brother was there cornering a guy, so we spoke a bit. But they still weren't with us at that time. For this fight, this is like the first camp that he's done at Tiger, and he's a very nice guy to me. He was, we get along fine, and I think he really enjoyed his time at Tiger as well. Just by speaking with him and his brother, and man, they brought like a crew of guys out as well. Like one of their guys fought Muay Thai while they were here. Like they brought a big crew of guys out. Actually, one of their girls, I believe, Janae, is still here. She just fought Tuesday night or Monday night, whatever it was, in Hong Kong on the same card as Tatsuya. It was called like E1 or something, and she won. And she's staying here for a while. So, but no, I think he enjoyed the training. I think he improved. He's fighting a wrestler, so I worked with him one-on-one on some wrestling. And then he did all my classes for wrestling and stuff. And so hopefully, he got quite a bit out of training at Tiger, and I hope to see him get the win as well.
Alex, what does it mean to you to be on a card with Mark Hunt?
Yeah, that's huge. It's unreal. Like, I've been following him ever since the start, really. You know what I mean? Like, who hasn't? But to be on the same card, just to see him around, it's going to be unreal. But yeah, it's not only being on the same card and, like, seeing, sort of being around him, and that's going to be cool. Again, like, I look at all angles of him being on the card. There's going to be a lot of eyes on him. He's always got eyes watching him. He's a big name. Everyone loves to see him fight. Everyone wants to see that walk away KO, which I want to do. So that's something that I'll be looking to do. I might take it from him. But I mean, so a lot of eyes are going to be on him, and I'm on that main card. So, it's unreal. It's so good to be on the same card, main card as well. So I'm glad to start off that main card.
I think that this is such a huge opportunity for you. Your debut, of course, was a huge opportunity, but this one is a much bigger opportunity just because Mark Hunt is the main event, and just because he's such a legend of the sport. And to be honest with you, this might be his last fight with the UFC. Who knows?
Yeah.
You're
probably right. You're probably right. I actually think that might be the case as well.
So
this is going to be your second coming out party.
Yeah.
For real, you're on the main card. Mark Hunt, New Zealand. You're a hop and a skip away from New Zealand and Australia. You guys are like cousins. And I see you getting the finish on Hirota, which is gonna propel you, because it's not gonna be on the prelims. It's gonna be on the main card. Yeah. And I look to see. I can't wait to watch. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I'm actually, my last fight I was on the main card too, which was really good. But I mean, like you said, to be on the main
with
card,
Mark Hunt,
yeah. So I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself, really, which I'm sort of proud of, to be on two main cards in two fights. Yep. That's what I've been telling people. UFC is seeing something, and I'm going to prove them right. You know what I mean? So they're expecting big things. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, especially you're kicking it off. So it's just like kicking it off is very important. That does say a lot about a fighter when they put you in that first slot to get things rolling. So yeah, big things coming from you, Alex. I've been following you for a long time. Actually, before you were in the UFC, I wrote an article about the top 5 guys not in the UFC fighting in Asia.
I remember that
one. I think to be honest, I think you sent that to me. Or
I
one
did
man-
send it to you. I asked you how old you were because no one knew how old you were.
Too old. That's what.
No, but at that time, I asked you like,
Yeah,
how old
I
are you?
remember
And then you're like, I'm this age, and you're like, why? Because I told you like, I'm writing an article about the guys that are not in the UFC. But actually, that article, 3 of the 5 guys are in the UFC now.
Wow.
Oh,
From
them
that
guys you
article.
said.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, like I've been following you for a long time, man. I knew you're exciting. I know you have huge potential. It's not just because you're on here. I know because I've been following you for so long, and George tells me some secrets.
That's
You know what I mean?
I
So-
hope they're not bad secrets, but
No, I'm talking about fighting secrets, but
Yeah, yeah.
things that we don't want to talk about. But
Yeah.
you know, since before we go, what I want to ask you is, tell me a funny story about George.
Funny, where do I start? Where do I
Anything.
start?
You got about 5 minutes.
Hey, we've got 5 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't know which one could it be. I don't know. I don't know. He's not that bad of a bloke. I can't think of anything funny. I'll think of one funny one. Where can we? Well, to be honest with you, the tryouts was one. Like,
That's a good one.
well, it's just even just being there, like when we're all there, like because everyone I know is weird. Like I'm a friendly type of guy, so I go and I talk to everyone. And George at the time he was just like, all right, more keeping to himself and sort of me and George are good mates now, so I can say this sort of stuff. But at the start, I was almost a bit standoffish to him. I thought he didn't like me or something like that. So a few people have said that about him. Even he said, I remember a couple of times I talked to him.
Yeah, the running joke is people think I'm a dick until they actually meet me, but it's just
exactly.
like my nonchalant attitude. But go ahead.
That's just how he is. You know what I mean? So
He's a Southern boy.
yeah, man. That's just so people don't know how to take it, and like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't think George likes me, man. I go, no, man, it's just how he is. Hang around him and watch him stir me up for a good couple of minutes, and then you'll understand. Just all taking the piss. I mean, we all take the piss out of each other, but I remember at the start, I was like, man, I don't know about this guy, but yeah, I came along. He's all right. He's not a bad bloke at all.
Everyone hated me. They had like a group chat and stuff with like all the tryout guys, but like I had a friend.
We tried that, didn't you? That you declined it, didn't you?
No, I was in it, but then I left the group.
Well, there you go, even worse.
My phone was vibrating like every 2 minutes. But my friend that's a trainer at Syndicate, Walker, he was in Thailand, so I was of course hanging out with him and my other buddy Charlie that I'd already known. So I was like hanging out with them in between sessions, and I think everyone thought I was a prick, but everyone came around.
That's it.
This is all good.
I see the best in everyone, so I wasn't really that bad with him. But a lot of people are like, oh man, I just think, oh, maybe he doesn't like me, but yeah, he's all right.
All right.
There you go. Well, a little bit of insight. If you meet George, he's not being a dick. He's just that's just how he rolls. Now everyone's gonna think you're a prick to him.
No.
Nah, never.
Yeah. Of course, we're gonna be watching. Because we're gonna be watching you, man. So everybody's gonna be watching you because you're gonna be on the main card. So you're gonna, we do have no doubt that you're gonna perform well. We'll be cheering for you on that day. So thank you for your time, Alex, and we'll definitely have you on again in the future, so you could tell us some crazy stories about George.
All right, I'll tell you some more. I'll get them prepared next time.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate the support. As you were saying, you've been supporting me, so I thank you for that. And thanks for having me on the show. And George, I love you, mate. Have a good one.
That? Yeah, you as well, brother. I love you as well, Alex.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah, no worries, brother.